chapter is, I think it's chapter 10 in that book. Y'all got it pulled up? Perfect.
Which page is it?
Huh? Which page is it, y'all? For, oh, there's a book, right there for you. Okay. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Agree. Okay. What we say, 269? Okay, so we're talking about the beauty business today. Let me turn on my mic. It's not just, polishing and acrylic and, doing all that fun stuff. We got to have a little business about ourselves in order to keep those clients, right? So this is a very important chapter. How many of you guys already have your business license and insurance and, your tax ID and all that good stuff already? None of y'all? Y'all planning on doing nails when y'all leave here, right? Y'all better get it. Now is the best time to do it because it's, every year it renews. So these things need to be done, so that way when you start, you don't have to wait. Okay, so we're going to talk about that stuff today. You may want to take notes. As a matter of fact, I insist that you take notes today because this stuff is, again, going to be, you guys all are going to have an exam and all that stuff just like before. All right, with any other chapter. So let me pull this up. Here we go. All right, the beauty business. Get to my slides. So we're going to talk about what the beauty business entails today. We're also going to outline some of the requirements that are needed for you to own a business, to start a business. We're also going to talk about the difference between booth rental and commission. Okay? If any of y'all heard about that or what booth rental is or have any idea, there are laws and all kinds of stuff wrapped around that some of your employers or the places you're working are breaking. Okay? There are certain things that you are not allowed to do as a owner of a salon, and you've got booth renters versus commission. Okay? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about things that will help you. Anybody can open a salon. Even a person who doesn't have a license can open a salon. But how do you keep the salon open? What are you going to do to keep your clients and to keep your business going? Okay, we're also going to talk about some marketing strategies, and you guys know what marketing is. Y'all do it all the time, right? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. This is what your options are nowadays, which is, y'all are so lucky, because back in the day we had to go to the mall and put flyers on people's cars and talk to people, okay, which we established last week. Y'all don't know how to do. See, y'all wasn't in Saturday class. We had a whole conversation about that, didn't we? Y'all people don't know how to communicate, not unless it's like this. Y'all look at me now like I'm crazy. Some of y'all looking at me like a deer in the headlights. Scared to talk. Okay? We're going to break y'all out of that before you leave here, though. Ain't we, Mara? All right. So, let's talk about the beauty business. All right? So, first and foremost, when you start a business, and this can go for any business. Okay? This is not just nails. You need to have a plan. And some of you already, in your mind, you have a plan, right? Don't you have a plan? What's your plan? Tell me. Enlighten me. When you leave here, what is your plan? I know you're already doing some of this plan, but what is your plan? Well, first, I hope you want to get your license, right? Because you're going to get your license, and then you're going to get a suite, open up a suite, right? That's what you said, open up a suite. Have you thought about the colors and what you want, how you want to decorate it? Because of course that's like the first thing we think about. Oh, I want to think about the colors and what do I want, a pedicure chair? Do I want to? All of that stuff is should be last on your list, to be honest, okay? Because we need to discuss the legalities of some of this stuff, okay? How much is it going to cost, right? Because you're just going to pull money out of the air. You got to have money to, it costs money to open a business, right? So where are you going to take out loans? Are you going to borrow from your sugar daddy? Are you going to, or not borrow, excuse me. He's just going to give it to you, right? Is your man going to pay for it? Is your mom and daddy going to pay? How are you going to get this money, right? So let's talk about it. First and foremost, you need a business plan, okay? And just so you guys know, a business plan is part of your senior assignment. You must write one, okay? And you guys are so lucky. I just give you a template, which is my actual business plan that I had when I used when I opened up this school, okay? And you're just going to put it in your own words. I'm so sweet, because a business plan is not easy to write, okay? And in this business plan, there's a lot of different elements that you need to have, okay? First thing being your executive summary, next a vision statement, and you've heard of all these things before. You've probably seen, even McDonald's has a mission statement, right? I don't know what it is. What is it? Burger King, all of them, have it your way. Everybody has one, or all good businesses have one. And then you'll also have an organizational plan, a marketing plan. You're going to have all your financial documents, your supporting documents, and then your business policies, which you need to have all of these things laid out ahead of time. For instance, if you choose to open up a salon where you're employing people, you need to have policies, rules, right? What time do they come in? Do they wear a uniform? Do they get vacation time? Things like that, okay? All of that stuff needs to be laid out. All right, and again, all of this is in the book, okay? So let's break it down. Let's talk about each one of these things individually, okay? So an executive summary, what is that exactly? Okay, this is just going to be a summary of your plan and a list of your objectives. Just a quick, doesn't even need to be a paragraph long. What is your plan? Like for me, for instance, my summary of my plan for opening up this school was to basically open up a school that's affordable to teach the masses, the art of nail technology, and to license them in the state of Georgia. Boom, simple, to the point, straightforward. Okay? So what is your plan? Then you have your vision statement, and this is going to be your long-term picture of what the business is to become and what it will look like when it gets there. Right? So what is it? So you just open a salon, but that's easy to do. But once you reach your goal, what is it going to look like? So you're going to open up a suite, right? So you open up a suite. Is your plan to stay that way? Just one person? Do you want to eventually hire people? Right? Do you plan to expand or be international nail tech? Travel in the world, like all of those things, that's your vision, okay? And all of this stuff, when you write your plan, it's just that, sometimes things don't work out, you know what I mean? But if you don't have a goal, how are you ever going to get anywhere if you don't have a goal, right? My goal is to get up and get here in the morning, right? It's like some of y'all ain't reaching it quite on time, but we getting there. Okay, well, at least you got a goal. That's all I can say. All right. Now, your mission statement, which this is the biggest thing, okay? Your mission statement is a description of your strategic influences of the business, okay? Such as the market it's going to serve, right? The kinds of services it's going to offer, and the quality of those services. So you may, for instance, let's put this out here, like a salon that markets only to men, a men's only nail salon, right? That does only natural nails. You would want to, of course, that would be part of your mission statement. We're here for the men, or something strong enough for a man, whatever. Everybody has one, a mission statement, okay? What their goal is and who they're marketing to, okay? So this is also going to be, maybe a paragraph long. Now, if you want to get some real good money and some good loans from good banks, then you're going to want to have some detail in this, okay? Now, Your organizational plan, that's going to be an outline of your employees, your management. How are you going to organize your business so that it is successful? Okay. How are you going to organize it? Are you going to have employees? Are you going to have a manager? Okay. And then you need to outline what their job is. So if you got a manager, is your manager's job to be there 30 minutes before everybody else or an hour before everybody else? Turn on the lights, do they handle the laundry, or do you have the employees doing all of this stuff? Needs to be laid out. Okay? Just think about any other job that you've ever worked at before. They all have some type of organization. Who is on top, who's on the totem pole, and who's at the bottom. And then it's always somewhere in between. Now, marketing. Marketing is so important. How do you plan to market? Do you plan to do TikTok ads or Facebook ads, or do you plan to do billboards? Are you going to hand out old school? Are you going to hand out flyers? Are you going to go around in the community and hand out, information about your salon? How do you plan to market? These days it's so easy, so easy. Are you gonna put, wrap your car and put, your face on it? I saw that the other day, a real estate agent. It was so funny. I was like, wow. She was laid on the floor, like doing it would look like have y'all seen it? She ride around Augusta. She was laid on it like a photo shoot, laid out on the floor. I was like, that's real professional for a real estate agent. But anyway, her whole side of her car was her ass laid out on the damn side of the side panel. But anyhow, do you plan to do that? That's a very good strategy. It's expensive, but it's a good strategy. Ride around with your face on the side of your car. I remembered it, didn't I? I don't remember her name, but I remember the ad. Okay. And then you'll also want to have financial documents and this is not necessarily like your paycheck stub or anything like that. We're talking about projections. What do you think your salon is going to make? If I charge a nice round number of $100 per client and I do 6 clients a day, how much money do I think I'm going to make? I still got to buy products. You got to subtract that. You got to add in your rent, your overhead, all of that good stuff. So a spreadsheet, which you guys are also very lucky, Miss Mary is going to provide that for you. You just need to, like y'all do on your phone, the numbers. Okay, put it in there. Let me see what you came up with. Doing this spreadsheet will help you really make you realize that maybe you ain't quite ready to have your own salon yet. You ain't got it. You ain't there yet. You need to do more clients because you need to be realistic about this. Okay, can you afford to open up an actual salon that the rent is $2,500 a month? Can you? We'll see when you put these numbers in, because we got to put in the lights, the gas, the phone, the internet, all of that stuff gets factored in. Your advertising costs, how much you're paying for acrylic and monomer and alcohol and all this stuff that you guys drink like water in here. Seems like it's expensive. Okay, so supporting documents is going to be your resume. You all should have a resume. Does everybody have a resume? If you don't, you need to have one. At any time, someone can ask you for a resume, and they maybe want to offer you a job, but they want to know where you used to work, where you went to school, what your name, your birthday, all that, so your address, all of that. Nowadays, y'all have your resume is your Instagram, right? Where you post all your work, right? Which, look, that's so funny that someone, the chat is my co-host. Someone said here, I use my business Instagram to show my work, but it's not doing what I need it to do. Because it ain't going to do what you need it to do. Everybody is not on Instagram. Everybody is not on the internet. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, because the internet is such an awful place nowadays, are getting off of it. I wish I could, but I can't. Hold on one second because I need to have this up. There we go. All right. So, moving right along. So you got your resume. You'll also have your personal financial documents. So no bank is going to loan you money if you can't prove that you're making money. So if you're under the table making cash money and you're not actually filing taxes. I know we hate that word, right? I actually I love it. It's like a game to me. My goal is to pay the least amount of taxes as I possibly can. I want to be like Donald Trump. I don't want to pay no taxes. I'm going to be a millionaire and not pay no taxes. I'll talk about that a little bit later on, how you can do that, okay? Ayana, how's your portfolio looking?
Good, I do the same thing.
Now, what about you, Ayana? Because remember, did you get your Fidelity account?
Oh no, so I looked into day trading.
Ooh, girl, you gambling now. See, that's gambling. That's gambling. See, I like long-term money, but hey, I got friends that do that too. That's a little scary to me. But so your financial documents, legal contracts. What do I mean by legal contracts? If you're going to be hiring someone, let's just say, for instance, I try to be completely transparent with y'all. Shayla, she is going to be one of our instructors, right? Well, Shayla didn't pay a dime to go to school. I charged $10,000 for my instructor course. Why do you think she didn't pay a dime? Because I got a contract with that ass. She gonna work for me for up to $10,000 worth of pay. And once she meets that, then she is free to go wherever she wants. But until then, she's mine. I got it on paper. She signed it with her John Hancock. She belongs to me for $10,000 worth of employment. And I mean, at the end of the day, if she decides to quit, she could do that, but then I could just sue her for the amount of money that she owes me for getting that free education. I don't anticipate her doing that. Shayla's a good, a great employee. I love having her. But she's under a contract. You all are under contract, right? Everybody gets a contract. You come to school. Otherwise, because I got to buy stuff for you. I got to keep the lights on. I got to do all that stuff. If ain't nobody coming, if I don't know you're coming, then, it's a waste of time. Right? So contracts are very important, especially in business. It's not personal, it's business. Y'all need to learn that, okay? Ain't nothing in here personal. I don't know none of y'all like that. None of y'all been to my house and had dinner with me or nothing like that. This is business. We play, we have a good time, and y'all need to remember that with your employees, okay? And also your clients. It ain't personal. It's business, okay? Any other agreements that you may have, all right? Because you may have someone come in and train your staff, which a lot of employers do, right? They'll have people come in from the outside, train their staff on a certain subject, but you need to have a contract with those people, because what if they decide they just don't want to come? I've had it happen to me before. You done had 16 people sign up for a class, and then the person who's supposed to teach it don't show up. Then what do? Got to refund people money. What I do, because I got a contract with them, is I'm just going to sue them. Take you to court. All right? Judge Million. All right. And then you got your business policies. All right? And again, those are going to be your rules, your shop rules, things that your employees need to adhere to, or they will get what? I had a 2-hour-long conversation with one of my friends who owns a salon in Florence, South Carolina. And she was telling me all these things that her employer does and doesn't do. And she was like, I don't know what to do. I said, fire her. She's like, I can't. I said, why? She said, because I said, see, that's where you done messed up. You cannot get into bed with your employees. You cannot do that. Because you're going to have to hold them accountable. And when you do that, when you hold people accountable, sometimes you got to let them go. Write them up. Things like that. And you don't want to do that when you're in love with your employees. It happens all the time. I had this problem myself. Okay? Don't ever hire your best friend to work with you. Zay will tell you. I fired that ass. And guess what? We fell out for about 6 months, didn't talk. My best friend. And then he came around and apologized, which he had to do. And then we were back friend again. But he can't work for me. Never again. And he knows that, and I know that. We made a mistake by doing that. Okay? Don't hire your mama. Don't you hire your daddy, your brother, your boyfriend. Nobody. It's business, not personal. Got it? I think that's probably the most important thing I can tell y'all today. Keep your business, okay? When it comes down to it, like I said, we laugh and kiki, but when y'all don't make, if it comes to the point where we have a breach of contract, don't we have a conversation, or we gonna have a conversation, okay? And it's not gonna be a kiki conversation. It's gonna be a business conversation. So keep it that way so that things don't get awkward. All right? Everybody got that. Those are the parts of your business plan, and I should see each one of these points in your business plan when you turn it in. Okay? All right, moving right along. Now, when you open up your business, okay, you got your vision, you got your goals, you did all this, you wrote your business plan, and you should write a business plan, okay, even if you're not planning on financing your business with a bank or something like that, right? Because a plan is a plan, regardless. All right. So once you open up your business, you need to think, or when you start thinking about opening up your business, there's a few things you need to consider. Okay. Number one, you got your goals. Number two, your brand identity. What is a brand identity? What does that even mean? What is a brand identity? Because listen, anybody who has a business, you can think of anyone, any business, right? I can think of anyone right now. When you walk into Target, when you think about going to Target, what do you think about? Well, I mean, yeah, because you're going to buy some stuff. I got to make sure I don't forget to get the diapers, and I don't forget to get, yeah, of course, right? But I mean, as far as the brand of Target, what do you think about? Red, clean, red, you know, everybody's going to have on their red uniform. You think about that little Target, you think about that little dog that they have on the ads, right? You can see them red shopping carts in the shop, right? You think, I'm so glad they have Target because I don't have to go to Walmart and deal with the Now, I'm one of the Walmart people. I shop at Walmart, so don't get offended. But I'm just saying, you know, Target and Walmart is two different things, although they are very similar in what they sell, right? So what is your brand identity? What sets you apart from everybody else? Because there's nail salons on every freaking corner. Every shopping center, every street, every main road has a nail salon. Or they got a nail tech in their house doing nails, okay? Somewhere in the neighborhood, okay? Every street. So what makes you different? How are you going to set yourself apart from those people? Okay? Well, number one, hopefully you got a license, and maybe they don't. Okay? I strongly suggest that once you get your license, I mean, one of my nail techs that graduated, and I call her a nail tech now because she is licensed. I reposted her video on TikTok. I don't know if y'all saw it, but when she got her paper and it said passed, she sat in her car and just was like, y'all gonna be sick of me. I'm putting licensed on everything. A t-shirt, I'm gonna wear it every day. I'm gonna put it on my post. I'm gonna put it on my Facebook, on my TikTok, everywhere in my profile. I'm licensed now. And you should not be ashamed to post that. And don't feel bad about it. Because that is going to set you apart from a lot of different people. There are so many unlicensed, and again, I'm not knocking the unlicensed people, but I kind of am a little bit, but not really, because we all started somewhere, right? But you took the initiative, you took the time, you did the work to get your license. Be proud of that. Set yourself apart, all right? You definitely need to do that. It's so important, all right? What else? What are you selling? Let's talk about that. What are you selling? What makes you different from everybody else? Oops, what did I just do? No. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I slid something. I slid. What makes you different from everybody else? Hold on, let me put me on the screen real quick. What's going to set you apart from everybody else as far as your aesthetic? Because when we talked about Target, we said there's a certain look, right? So what's their look? Their look is the red, right? So what are you going? Is your salon just gonna go get a suite? You're just gonna open it up, and you're not gonna do anything special to it? What's your plan? Somebody tell me. Anybody? Pink. Okay, pink. I like it. Pink. Pink and what?
Pink and Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty. Well, how did I know you was gonna say that? How did I know Hannah was gonna say Hello Kitty, pink, right? Okay. So Hello Kitty, pink. Okay. What about your as far as your logo and stuff? I'm getting hot, y'all. What about your logo? Y'all thought about your logos? Anybody? Anybody got a logo? Nobody has a logo yet? Don't you think that's important?
Yeah, I have a girl to do it, but I have to pay her back.
Well, yeah, you got to pay her. But you know, ChatGPT will make you one. You can get on Canva and make one. Yeah, you can do all that. Let me get that out of the way. Okay. So, what is your aesthetic and what exactly are you selling? Are you going to be a gel X nail tech? Are you going to be a natural nail tech? Are you going to be strictly pedicures? What is your plan? What are you selling? Is that someone sneezed?
Yeah,
Oh, outside. I was like, because she said bless you. I'm like, that was outside. Okay. So, your decor and how you present yourself is very important. Okay. You want your clients, when they walk in, to know that they are at Target, right? If I walk into a Target, if you blindfold me, and then walk me into a Target, I know that I'm in there as soon as you take off my mask, right? Okay, so celebrate your brand, okay? Make people sick of hearing about you, okay? I remember back in the day, there used to be this commercial that came on, We Buy Gold. It was came on all night long on channel Fox 54. We Buy Gold, We Buy Gold. They would have rappers rapping and all kinds of, and it got to the point where if you were from Augusta and you hadn't seen that commercial, you just didn't have cable. You didn't have TV. You didn't have a TV, right? Because it came on every commercial break. Right? You should be doing that, okay, till people are sick of you, your brand, and people need to identify your brand, especially in the beginning, okay? I ain't gonna lie to you though, it's a girl right now, I was in a little, those little channels that you have on Instagram, people, and they post stuff, and it's just like a feed. She had added me to it. I ain't gonna lie to you, I finally got out of there because I was like, man, she posts 5 times a day. I'm sick of getting all these notifications. I should have just turned off. I probably never know. I ain't interested in what she's selling. But at the end of the day, that's how you want to be. Okay, so what is your aesthetic? Now, when you open a business, there's a timeline. Okay, it is a proven fact that when you first open your business, especially if you are going to spend money opening it, like a good amount, you are not going to make a profit in the beginning, okay? And I mean like my school, after all the money I spent and all of the things that I've, sacrificed and all that, did not start turning a profit for me until last year. And I'll be open 6 years in October. Like a profit where I can say, okay, now all the money that comes in outside of the overhead and all that is pure profit. Because you got to pay loans back. You got to pay I had to buy all this stuff. I mean, I spent my entire life savings buying these desks that y'all abuse every day. Think about that while you over there filing on them and leaving acrylic stuck to them. Miss Mary had to do some strange things for some change to buy these desks that y'all abuse every day. I definitely think about it. Okay? So with that being said, all that had to be recouped. And it took a long time. Because you got to don't think about it, oh, I spent is gone now, everything that comes in is profit. No, it's not. Okay? So, your first year, this is going to be just you starting the business. It took me from the time that COVID started, okay, because COVID started in 2020, all right? I started thinking about, that's when the day I opened my salon, I'll never forget it, or this school was January 2nd of 2020. Okay? So I was thinking of opening a school back in 2019. Well, I had always wanted to, but like seriously thinking about it. So putting the school together, getting all of the plans and putting my business plan into action took me, from maybe it really only because I did it in record time. Even people was like, "Wow, you said you was gonna do it, you did it in 6 months." Okay, but I always had the plan in my head. I always wanted to. So when I decided I wanted to open it, I started. I did everything I needed to do. I got the license. I went to school. I opened this school. It was legally allowed to take students in October of 2019. I didn't even have my instructor license yet. I hadn't passed the test yet. Still was in instructor school. That's how much confidence I had in myself. I knew I was going to open this school, or I was going to have to hire somebody to teach in it, one of the two. But the state board had approved it to be open in October of 2019. I didn't take my first student until January. So it took me a year. The first year you're spending actually starting the business, getting everything together that you need to get together to open the doors. All right, it should take about that long if you're doing it right. Now, years 2 through 5, this is when you're tending to the business. This is when you are, your period of time where you're getting your clientele, you're gathering up your employees, all of that good stuff. Okay, and you're growing and expanding the business so that it can be profitable. How long do you want your salon? Are you guys only planning to do this just for a little bit of money on the side? Are y'all planning to actually have some clientele and businesses to where it gets to the point where you're fully booked and you gotta hire some folks to help you, right? That's the goal. So years 2 through 5, which I'm at my 5th year now. Look where I'm at. Looks like I'm right on target, right? We got us an instructor, somebody who can help me so I can expand the business. Amen. Look who read the book. Okay? But it technically will just happen that way if you're doing things right. I mean, I wasn't like, by year 5, I got to have me. I really wished I had one way before that. Okay? So not years 5 through 10. In this time period, you should be successful. Everything should be running smooth, right? You don't have any really bumps in the road. You come in to work. You know how your day is going to. All of that is nothing really. Everything's good, right? You're in that good time period where you're decided to expand. You have decided to expand, and you're taking those steps, or constructing a larger space. Maybe you're hiring way more employees, and then anything else that your clients may want or need. Now you're making the money so that you can upgrade, right? We're going to upgrade the building. We're going to upgrade the chairs that we bought for cheap. Now we're going to buy new ones because we got profit coming in. Okay, and then if you're thinking further out, way further out, like to the point where you plan to retire doing this business, years 11 through 20, this is when you may want to move to being, like me, maybe you want to teach. You're like, oh, okay, I'm bored now, I'm tired, I want to do something else, but I still want to stay in my business, and everything is still running outside, but you've moved on to a different level, okay? Maybe you decide you're going to retire. Okay, and let your business continue to run with someone else managing it, right? This is the ideal timeline, okay? Who don't want to retire after working for 10 years and not have to do any work because your business is doing so well without you, okay? So, now after that, 10 years, 11 to 20, obviously you're probably going to be at the stage where you want to retire. Okay, completely retire. And then you may sell your business. You may pass it to someone, right? There's lots of different options. You may, like I said, you might have a junior partner, somebody who you pass it to that manages it until the day you die. Okay? So many different options, but that's the timeline that you guys need to think about, and think about the future, because otherwise, if you don't think about your future, then what are you doing? Like, you really definitely need to think about that. Okay? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? All right. Moving right along. Now, when you open your business, okay, we got to decide whether it's even a good idea to do it. Okay? Is this even something that I should do? Should I open a salon? Am I in a good location to open up a salon? Like, for instance, I live in Augusta. Am I going to open it downtown? Am I going to open it? Do I have the feasibility? Does it make sense to open the business? Okay? Because, if you look on TikTok and Instagram, everybody's a CEO. Everybody's the owner of in their kitchen. Okay? At some point, we got to grow out of that and actually have some business about ourselves, as my mom used to say, get some business about yourself. I giggle every time I see all these CEOs. CEO of what? Okay. So, we got to choose a business name. And the name that you select, okay, it should explain what you do, who you are, okay, all in one. I mean, we all see it, nails by Jocelyn. Nails by, Amari. Nails by Hannah. Okay, yeah, we get it. That's simple and easy. And that makes sense, right? Because we know what you do. All right? So I'm going to just say, for example, I had a reality check when it came to my salon name back in the day, but I have a story for the reason for it. So when I opened up my salon, it was called the House of Bling. If you just heard that name, House of Bling, what are you blinging? Right? Are you blinging nails? Are you blinging, Stanley cups? What are you, cars? What are you doing? Clothes? You know what I mean? But the reason my salon was called House of Bling is because I've told y'all the story, kind of, sort of, maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't, of when I was doing nails in my house and I had a mad, angry, hateful bitch called the city on me because her nail broke while I was in Africa, and the city came to my house and said, you must leave this house doing nails or you are going to be fined another $500 because they fined me $500. Okay? It is illegal for y'all to do nails in your house. Let me just tell you this. In the state of Georgia, you cannot do nails in your house. And the reason why, you can do it, but who's going to get you? Not just the state board. The state board don't even know you're there. You didn't get a salon license for your house. Let me tell you why. Because you can't. The city will not give you a business license to do nails in your house. They will not. Because you have to meet certain requirements in the state of Georgia. Okay? Again, for the people that are, that are out there in other states, I don't know what they do over there. But over here, you cannot have a nail salon in your house unless you have a separate domicile attached to your house that has its own entrance, its own back door, front door, no kitchen in there, no food, no nothing. All they got to have bathroom with hot water. Can't be a she shed in the back. Okay? The city will not give you a business license in a residential area. So if you live in a residential area, aka a neighborhood, then you can't get a business license for a nail salon. And then some of you will say, oh, I got a lady that lives next to me that does taxes. That's a different type of business. You can do taxes in an office in your house. Okay? Totally different type of business. They're zoned differently. Your house is zoned in a residential area unless you live downtown where there's houses, people live on top of the businesses that are downstairs, because that's zoned residential / commercial. Okay, in Atlanta, they have apartments that are live workspaces. Y'all heard of those? Y'all seen those? They're really, really cool. They're really expensive too. But you literally live upstairs and there's a staircase to get downstairs to your business. They're all over Atlanta. But guess what? Atlanta is a big major city. They have areas that are zoned residential / commercial. So y'all be careful. I ain't telling you what to do and what not to do, but don't come hollering to asking me why you got to find and why you know, where am I going to go? Do you know where there's so many suites? Do you know anybody that's hiring? Because the city going to come, and they're going to come back because they came to my house to check. And then my neighbor, there's a whole story on my TikTok. I told the whole story. It was a 2-part story. It's on my TikTok. My neighbors, because I live in a condominium that I own, my HOA put out a whole letter and put it on everybody's door except mine, saying that if they saw any foreign cars showing up at my house, to call the city. Wow. Because I was running an illegal chop shop in my house. According in their brain, I had like 16 mail techs in their brain. You know, meanwhile, I just had a little desk and I just took one client at a time and, you know, minding my damn business. For 6 years I was in there. Nobody even knew until that hateful bitch. You know who you are. Because I know you watch me, hateful bitch. But God did what God does, and he got me out of that house, and look where I am now. Because if I wasn't, I'd still be in there living my best life, because it was a sweet life now. And have no overhead, didn't have to pay $2,000 in rent every month, light bill, buy desk, do all. I had my whole savings account nice and fluffy. So, you know, it's a good thing it did happen, though. I'm glad it did. But I'm telling you now, I don't want y'all to have to deal with no hateful client. I want y'all to just do it the right way, okay? Do it the right way, all right? So, choosing a business name. The reason why it was House of Bling was because before I got kicked out of my house, I had a very successful business where I sold Swarovski crystals directly from Swarovski. And it's Swarovski, y'all. Please stop calling it Swarovski. It's not Swarovski. It's Swarovski, okay? Crystals. And I was a direct distributor. I had to get a license from them, like to sell their product and everything. Like they were very strict and all that. So I sold them on the internet to nail techs, broke it down like I was a, little dealer. Broke down the big packs, put them in small packs, had my own little labels and all that stuff. Swarovski dealership, and sold them. So House of Bling was the name of my business because I was doing it in my house. Okay, it made sense at the time, but when I got out and I had to open a salon, because I had enough money saved up, I had a salon the next day in a suite. Okay, the very next day. That bitch wasn't stopping nothing. Okay, just so you know, you ain't stop nothing. But in order for me to get that, I had to come up with a name, and I was like, well, hell, House of Bling. We're just gonna move it into the suite. So. But that only reason I did okay and didn't have any issues with that is because everybody knew who I was. Mary Negron, I still did nails. House of Bling, I was selling the bling, so all of that. Is there a reason why you're raising your hand?
Yeah. You're teaching. Do you have the sticky pads?
Is that going to stop you from asking me the question?
I want you to say yes like that.
Sticky pads for what? Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know what Shayla did with them. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know what she did with them. And I can't stop to look. So, choosing a location is the next thing you need to think about. Are you going to do a suite? Are you going to rent a building? Are you going to work in someone else's salon in a room or in an open space? Think about all of those things. It's very, very important. Okay? And where are you going to do it? Are you going to be in some look? Because people do this. They open a salon way out in the country. Well, you need to ask yourself, are your clients going to come there? If you're down in the hood, in the middle of the bottom, right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle of it, all of the, where all of them at. The folks, that like to pew pew and do stupid stuff. Are your clients going to go there? Matter of fact, if you're doing nails in your house, are your clients going to go there? Do you want these people in your house? So a lot of times, I don't even want this shady character in my house, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Very important. Now, when you open your business, you're going to have your written agreements, and that's going to be with your employees or people that you work with. But we also have written agreements with our clients, don't we? How so? How do we do it now? Right. So, like for instance, you may have them sign in when they come in, right? Let's just say you own a big salon. And all of y'all have been in these nail salons. You don't even know what you're signing a lot of times. You think that you're signing a sign-in sheet, but you didn't read the fine print at the bottom where they say we are not liable for anything that happens to you in this salon or something like that, right? Or you may have on your booking site, if you're more than 30 minutes late, no nails for you, honey, right? In your own words. And then the client books the appointment, and you have, by booking this appointment, you agree to all terms and conditions. Click. I highly recommend that you do that. Okay, so we may not have written agreements per se, but we have agreements, right? Don't bring your kids. If you bring your kids, you can't get your nails done. You got to go. You got to sit out in the car. Kid got to sit out in the car playing traffic or whatever, right? While you getting your nails done. I am not responsible for whatever happens to your youngin', okay? All of this stuff, those are written agreements. Now, business regulations and laws. I just explained to y'all some of them, okay? When you work or you have a business, if you are calling yourself a business, you must have a business license, period. Now, there's some steps to this, okay? If you go down to the city right now and you say, hi, my name is Mary, and I'm opening up a nail salon, and I already rented the space because I didn't listen to my teacher. I rented the space, and I'm already paying rent, and I signed a contract, and I need a business license. They're going to say, did you get your salon approved by the state? What do you mean? You have to have a license for your salon. It's not just this license here that you get that says I'm a licensed nail tech. Yeah, you got that. I got that. No, honey. You need to get your salon licensed. Meaning you're going to pay for another license. And guess what that means? That means as soon as you apply for that license, the state board is going to come to your salon and inspect it. And you must pass the inspection in order to get said license. Okay? Once you have that license in your hand, which will take weeks. Okay? Weeks. Do y'all see why this chapter is so important? Because some of y'all just going to go out there, get your license, and just start working, and y'all ain't going to think about none of this stuff. There's people that's not here today. Bless it. You got to have that license, and the city is not going to issue you. See that green one right there? Or that blue? What color is that? I can't tell. Blue, the one that say Augusta 2025 on it. You can't get that without this. And this is the school's license that costs $300 every year just to have. On top of this license, which is my instructor license, which costs another $75 every 2 years, y'all. I said year. And in order to keep my instructor license, I have to have this one, which is my nail tech license. In the state of Georgia, you have to keep all your licenses. It can get very expensive, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? And you can go on the state board website right now, and there's somebody that you know that's working. They got a license, and they're working in a salon, and they ain't got no salon license because they never even approved. They don't have no business license. You're not a business to me if you don't have that green piece of paper right there. Because you're not paying taxes, and the only reason they want you to have that costs you $100 a year, roughly. That's if you're making. Now, if you're making, they go based on your income, how much your business brings in. So if you're making less than $60,000 a year, then it's $100. If you're making $10 million a year, it might be $700 or something like that for your business license. They go by how much money your business makes. Okay, so you've got to have these licenses, and now, as far as the business license is concerned, not only will they not give you a business license if you don't have a salon license from the state, but you also have to have inspections done. When I opened this school, I had to have the fire department come. Okay? That was another $300 just for a fireman that I used to work with on the ambulance come in here, flirt with me, laugh, kiki, and make sure I had those right there. You see those up there? Them exit signs? First of all, they're not cheap. Second of all, you don't just plug them in. You got to have them installed. So you got to have an electrician come in and hook it up to something somewhere so that when the lights go out, that stays on. Okay? You got to have those right there. Those, you see that little yellow tag? Those fire extinguishers? That's another $100 a year. And for the size of this building, I have to have 2 of them. Okay? So opening a business is not just you open the door. There's things that you have to do. So if I didn't have that inspection, I couldn't get the business license. The fire department had to email the city and say, we did it. She's good. She's got everything she's supposed to have. You can give her the license. It's stupid stuff too, like locks. Did y'all know that if you have a business and you have locks, or those locks on the door, you see how you got the ones that twist? You twist it from the inside and the lock on the outside is the key. You cannot legally have a door that doesn't have one of those twist locks on it, because you can trap someone inside the building. If a fire happens and oh my God, we locked the door, there's no twisty lock to get out. You locked it with a key. The key's over here, the fire's over here. We're all gonna die. Okay? So stupid stuff like that. So if you've got a door that doesn't have a twisty lock on it, or whatever, that deadbolt lock, the fire department won't approve you. So think about all these things, okay? If you are working in someone else's salon as a booth renter, they're still going to come and inspect you and make sure that that person, who may already have a business license, make sure that they want their money. At the end of the day, it's all about money, taxes. They want you to pay that money, okay, to the city. Everybody got that? As far as the laws and stuff. So let me ask you something. You think you're going to have the fire department come in your house and check to see if you got a fire extinguisher? Ain't none of y'all doing that. And this is where I'm trying to tell you that they're not going to do it. They're going to say, we don't check residential homes for business licenses. Okay? So again, y'all be careful out there. Some of y'all doing it. Be careful. These folks is hateful, and they will call on you in a heartbeat. Okay? I know it's a few of y'all that's doing this already. Be careful. Okay? I can't help you. I can't help you. You're just going to be in trouble. All right. So your daily operation, this is simple stuff too. Like your daily operation, I mean, you're probably already doing it. You've got a booking site, right? If you got a booking site, your booking site will have your times. So some of y'all are crazy and put your addresses on there. You bet not. If you're not doing the right thing, send them right over there just because they're bored. Okay? But you have your times you're open, the days you're closed, right? Your business policies, no kids, no, whatever those policies are. If you're late or 15 minutes, all of these fees that y'all charge, okay? And then your record keeping. Your record keeping is very important, okay? If you're using a booking site or some type of paywall, right? Square, PayPal, Venmo, whatever. All of this stuff is kept as a record, because you're going to want to use that so that you can pay your taxes. Don't be like me, okay? Because again, I'm very transparent with you guys. When I first started doing nails and I quit my job and was doing nails full time, I didn't pay taxes for 7 years. I'm still paying those taxes to this day. $400 a month so that I don't go to jail. Because I finally got business about myself and said, okay, I'm ready to start a business. And guess what? I couldn't until I handled those business and taxes. They were like, wait a minute, you ain't paid taxes since 2001. Ma'am. Or whatever year it was. It was 21, about 15 or 15. Yeah. You haven't paid taxes, ma'am. We have no taxes paid for 7 years. What are you going to do about that? Well, I had to go to my tax lady, and we had to finagle some stuff, and I had to show her some stuff, and I had $30,000 later. The tax lady said, "You got $30,000?" I said, "No." I said, "I need a payment plan." It was like, "Well, we're gonna put you on a payment plan, and we're gonna put a lien on your house until you pay it off." Y'all don't play with the IRS. Okay? Do not play with them. Pay your taxes. Take it from me. Now, luckily, y'all make your payments every week. Miss Mary paid that down. Okay? I still got a little bit more to go. Miss Mary done paid it down. Pay your taxes. Do not try to get away from that. You can't. You can't run from them. They're going to come get their taxes after you die. Okay? If for some reason I don't make that tax payment every month, they will take my home that I own, that I'm almost done paying. They will take it. Don't play with them. Pay your taxes. Keep every record of everything you buy, because everything that you buy is tax deductible. I go and get my hair done in Charlotte every month. I deduct that from my taxes. Why? Don't y'all see my hair right now? You look good too. It's a business expense. Every pair of clothes, I don't buy clothes unless I'm going to be on camera wearing them. It's a business expense. My shoes, my socks, my drawers. I need drawers too, don't I? Can't go without no. Right? Your gas coming to school, your tuition. Now, I don't give y'all that little piece of paper y'all always ask me for, because y'all not getting loans. That's a loan. That's if you're getting student loans and Pell Grant. But if every bit of tuition that you pay, you can write that off on your taxes next year or last year or this year, whatever year you started school. Okay? It's all tax deductible. But that's why, y'all get receipts, and y'all better download them receipts. Keep that stuff. Don't come asking me for it for the end of the year. I ain't got time to do y'all taxes and mine too. All right? Keep your stuff. All right? Everything that y'all buy from this school, tax deductible. And so that brings me to the reason why Miss Mary only paid $70 in taxes this year. And trust me, I'm not in the tax bracket where I should be paying that. Should be the first year that I opened this school, I paid $5,000 in taxes because I wasn't being smart. I wasn't thinking like Donald Trump. Everything is a tax write-off. Everything, especially stocks and bonds and things that you investments. This is an investment into everything that you buy is an investment into your business. Okay? Even my vehicles are in my business name, so that every payment, every piece of gas, every insurance payment, all of that is deducted. So on paper, I only made like 20 grand this year in profit, because every dime I spent on the school. I paid myself $1,000 a month. That's it. Seriously. Everything else was a business expense. Travel, airplane tickets, hotel rooms, food while you're eating. All of that is a business expense. Okay? And if you can't write it off, don't buy it. That's just my advice to y'all. Okay? If you can't write it off, don't buy it. Okay? Meaning all that stuff y'all be spending money on is not write offable. Okay? Don't buy it. Otherwise, you're going to pay taxes on it later. Okay? So there you go. There's my little 2 cents on that. We can talk more about that in detail later, but budget like you ain't got no money. Okay. Now, there's different types of ownerships in business out there. You got your LLCs, you got your sole proprietor, you got your C Corp, you got your S Corp, all these different types of business, and there's reasons why you would choose one over the other. Okay. So, anybody ever heard of a sole proprietor? What is a sole proprietor? Individual owner. It's not split up into, you own 50%, I own 50%, which I highly recommend y'all never do. Don't go into business with nobody. Okay? But a sole proprietor, that's going to be your individual ownership. And most often you manage the business, you run the business, you are the business, you determine all of the everything that goes on with that business. You. Okay? Now, as far as sole proprietorship, I do not recommend you do just a sole proprietorship, meaning the name is, your business is in your name and you're doing a DBA, doing business for instance, you file taxes for your business with your social security number. Don't do that. Because then you're responsible for everything. Meaning, if someone comes into your sole proprietor nail salon that you are the owner of, you are legally liable for, if someone falls into your business and sues you, then you lose everything. Your house, your personal home, your personal car, your personal money, all of that. Okay? What I suggest you do is open an LLC, sole proprietorship. Okay? Because C Corps and S Corps have their own benefits, but you got to be making a certain amount of money for those benefits to even matter. Okay? Like upwards in the hundreds, thousands, and $500,000 range for you to even start needing a C Corp or S Corp. In the beginning, you need to apply for a LLC. Okay? Y'all need to do that now. You know why you need to do it now? Because it takes time for your business to build credit. You open it today and you go to the bank tomorrow, they're going to be like, who are you? We don't even know. You were just born yesterday. Your business was just born yesterday. Okay? You need to start your LLC today. Everybody going to start it today? If you haven't started it today, you need to do it today. Yesterday, you need to do it today. Because what you're going to start doing is you're going to start buying things. Stop buying it in your name. Buy it in your business name. Okay? For instance, little small credit lines like Uline. All of y'all heard of Uline? Y'all heard of these like Granger supplies and stuff like that? Okay? You go on these websites. You got to have a business in order to buy most of this stuff, right? You start buying this stuff with your business name, guess what they do? Every month, it's called 30-day net, they report your business purchases to the credit bureaus under your business name. By the time you do that, so guess what you can buy from these places? Stop going to Sam's. Stop going to Costco. Buy them from there. Buy your toilet paper. Buy your hand paper towel. Just the little stuff. Don't do it all the time. Like big bulk, you don't have to do that. But buy things from these companies so that they can start reporting your business. And they like, okay, well, we do business with Jocelyn, and she buys from us every month. And then now, before you know it, you'll have a Duns and Bradstreet number. And I know I'm probably talking crazy. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But personal credit versus my personal credit, don't get it twisted. It's impeccable now. It's an 850. It's a really, really good score. But my business, I don't care. I don't buy nothing in my personal name. No, we buy things in our business name. Period. And in order for you to do that, you have to have business credit. Okay? Gotta have business credit. Stop buying things in your name. Establish that LLC today. All right? And where are you going to do that? You're going to go to sos.ga.gov and you are going to click on the business licensing and you're going to sign up for a name. I don't care what it is. It could be, I've got several LLCs. Several. Okay? Cost you $100 a year to keep it. Don't let it lapse, because then they charge you. I did it twice. I forgot to renew it, and they charge you $300 a year when you're late. And I had to do that for 4 businesses. I was crying that day. Damn it. All right. Open up an LLC. It could be anything. Like you'll see these people like triple A, whatever, moving company, but they're doing business as U-Haul. Guarantee you, Sam's or Walmart is not Walmart. Whatever, it's something, business name, doing business as Walmart, because they have umbrella companies. They got Sam's, Walmart, whatever, right? But sign you up. Don't worry about all of the particulars, because you can always do doing business name as later. Okay? Open up a bank account with your business. Stop mixing your personal finances with your business finances. If you do that, you will get in trouble. Okay? With the tax man. All right? They don't want you dipping and dapping into if you're going to pay yourself, pay yourself. Don't go over there and pay your rent with your business account. Okay? That not your home rent. Okay? Your business rent, yeah, but not your personal finances. Keep that stuff separate. And the more you do that, the easier it is for you to just print off your bank statements and hand them to your tax lady at the end of the year. Print them off, hand them to her. And you ain't got to be keeping receipts and doing all this stuff. Keep everything in one place. Okay? Now, that's your LLC. Everybody going to open their LLC, right? All right, let's get it, y'all. I want to see y'all doing good things. Next thing we'll talk about is a partnership. I do not recommend. However, you guys are going to do it. You're going to find your little nail buddy. I'm going to tell y'all a little story about one of my students. They did that. They chummed up in class and was sitting next to each other. Girl, we're going to open a salon. And they did. After I told them they shouldn't, they did. Because they was cool, you know. They opened up a suite. Matter of fact, they got a suite in my suites over here on Broad Street. Okay? Don't ask me about them. They full. That's why I don't mention it to y'all, because somebody rented the whole building. Okay? But I got some suites on Broad Street. So they had a suite over there. They had the big suite, which I was like, y'all want to pay $300 a week? Somebody gonna be responsible for this rent. Oh, we gonna do it, split it. Okay. Well, then one got a boyfriend in Atlanta, and she left. Just left. The other one's sitting there like, can I move into the smaller suite? Well, you got a contract with me for 6 months. You can move in a smaller suite, but who's gonna pay for this one? And they got an LLC that was a partnership. They did 50-50. One person had, they had it in their names. One person, they had a little credit card and all this stuff in the business name. That thing fell apart, all the way apart. Don't do it. You all hear me? Don't do it. Some of y'all wouldn't even get a business with your own mama, but you'll do it with some random girl you met in nail school. Don't do it, okay? It's just the stupidest move ever. Partnership where? Some of y'all can't even stay married. I know I can't. I'm not even no business. No. All right. So then you got your corporations. Now, when you start talking about corporations, that's going to be your S Corp, C Corp. This is when you get big, okay? This is when you got 3 or 4 nail salons big. You can start offering stocks and have stockholders and things of that nature where you're so big that now people want to buy into your company, okay? I don't know too many nail salons that are at that level, but if you think of people like Paul Mitchell salons, right? What are some of the chains? Cost cutters, or what are these, like these chain salons that you see in the mall? Okay. That in Walmart, what's that? Davi nails, stuff like that. Those people have big, huge conglomerates. That's a whole nother level. I don't plan on probably ever getting to that. I hope I do, but I mean, that's not my goal, is to have a C Corp or S Corp. But when you start making a certain amount of money, your accountant will get you to Great Clips. Yeah, that's a good one. Great Clips, things like that. Okay. Now, the benefits of these is that you get a lot of tax breaks. Again, you got to make a lot of money in order to get these tax breaks. Okay, so keep it in the LLC side for now. All right. Now, franchisees, franchise ownerships. You may want to. One I just mentioned was Davi Nails, and they call it Davi Nails because it's inside Walmart, and you know the guy who owns Walmart is named David Walton. Did y'all know that? David Walton, Walmart, Davi, David, Salon inside. They're only in Walmarts, okay? So Sam's is his middle name, I guess, is Sam Walton, okay? All of these things, you know, kind of cool how he did that. So you can buy franchises. Again, I don't know of too many nail salons other than that one, but franchise hair salons and things of that nature. You only thing about a franchise though, like you're not going to buy, let's just use McDonald's for an example. Anybody can buy a McDonald's, right? Or buy a franchise into a McDonald's. Well, not anybody. You got to have $1 million worth of collateral to do it. Okay, meaning you got to be worth that much somewhere, property, something, right? When you go to McDonald's, it looks the same no matter where you go. I don't care if you are a private owner that lives in Augusta, you bought a McDonald's. Every McDonald's looks the same, and when they start changing things, you got to remodel it, right? Y'all see they remodel McDonald's all the time. So when you're a franchise, you have to follow the franchise rules, right? But you know, why not? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I want to say like Rick Ross owns a bunch of wing stops. You can't tell Rick Ross's wing stop from another wing. Let's say that 10 times fast. Wing stop. It's not like he got Rick Ross's wing stop on his wing stop, right? He's got to follow those franchise rules. So, you know, it's a great idea to have a franchise if you can afford it, but remember, you can't run it the way you want to. You got to do things the way they want you to, all right? Now, buying an already established business. This happens, y'all. If you go on Craigslist, does Craigslist even exist anymore? I think it does. You can go on Craigslist and buy a nail salon right now. Somebody has it's already set up. They just selling the business. Here, $50,000, you can have this business that's already established, clients already established. We're going to give you everything. The polish, the way it's set up already. You can have the employees. You can have all of it. Okay? So purchasing an established business is, you know, that's a thing. You can do that. Only thing about it, make sure you do a financial audit. Make sure these people ain't selling it because the business owes, you know, $100,000 in debt to some bank or something, because you're going to take that on. All right, you're going to want to make sure you have written purchase agreements and sale agreements that are ironclad. Have you a good lawyer? All right, make sure that everything that you are buying is written in that contract. If they say we're selling it to you as is, that means you can't move nothing out. Don't come in here in the middle of the night and take all the nail desks out of here talking about you sold me to nail school. Okay, don't come in here and take this computer. You can't take that. Is that in the contract? Okay. And then the transfer of the mortgage or the lease, all of that stuff has to be transferred in your name. So again, keep those things in mind when you are thinking about purchasing an established business. I have often thought about this myself. So y'all, for real, it's a thing. Like nobody wants to just go in and, you know, a lot of time if you got some money and you just want to, you know, a tax write-off, you can go in with like $20,000 and just buy the salon, everything that's in it, and it's already established. It's very easy to do, okay? Just be careful. All right, moving right along because this is not a very long chapter. All right. Now, one of the things you guys need to think about is non-compete agreements. All right. Meaning, and I'm gonna tell you where this would come into play. If I own Shayla has one, a non-compete. Okay. I trained her. I trained her how to be an instructor in this school the way I want her to do things here, right? If she decided that she wanted to, after her contract is up, now she gonna go and open up a school down the street. Oh no, ma'am. We can't do that. I mean, I wouldn't really care because, at the end of the day, people come to the school they want to go to, right? But if you have a contract with someone and they leave before the contract is up, you want to have in there a non-compete. Let's just say you are the type of employer that you're like, okay, I want everybody to be on the same page. So I'm going to hire, let's say you hire me to come in and train everybody how to do a certain thing like Gel X or, sculpted nails. And you spent $10,000 for me to come in and train each one of your employees. I hope you signed a non-compete, had them employees sign a non-compete agreement so that they don't decide, oh, I done learned this stuff now. I'm about to go over here to this salon and I'm just down the street and I just take all the training that I got from this salon and now I'm going over here and now I'm going to compete against you. Now, full disclosure, some states don't recognize non-competes. Okay? Or it might say, okay, well, you can have a non-compete, but it's only for like a 1 mile radius. So for instance, you could be like, well, I'm moving to Atlanta and I'm going to do it over there. And what's that going to, that's really not a compete for me because you're way out there anyway. But some states don't recognize them. So keep that in mind. Oh my God, Anton Daniels is in my live right now. I love him. He's my mentor. All right. Now, when we're talking about your business, when you sign a lease, very important that you read it. I'm very fortunate that the man who I rent from, I don't think he read his that he gave me because I'm gonna tell y'all this between you and me and TikTok and YouTube. So my landlord had in the lease that my rent was $2,000 a month. And then it was supposed to go up by $100 every year. Well, I totally forgot that. And I've just been paying him, the $2,000 a month. And he ain't never said nothing about it. And now I'm no longer on a lease because my lease ran. Hell, to be honest, I guess I'm month to month now because I ain't never signed another lease since I opened this place 6 years ago. But my landlord is rich. He don't even, this little check he get right is nothing. He probably don't even notice that he gets it, to be honest. But hopefully he'll never remember that because I'm gonna owe him a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But keep that in mind. You want to know what's in your lease agreement. For instance, is your landlord responsible for fixing anything that breaks? Is he responsible if the for instance, our air conditioner went out last summer, completely dead, hot as hell in here. Mr. Papadopoulos bought a new one. That's his name, Papadopoulos. I like saying his name. He's Greek. So yeah, he bought a new one. I didn't even have to ask him. I said the air conditioner broke. He said okay. Next thing you know, they had a crane up there because it's on the roof. It cost $1,000 just for the crane to put it up there. So thank God I didn't have to pay for it. This window right here in the front has been replaced twice. I have gone through many. This is why I cut my own grass now. Because twice the same landscaper bust this window with a rock because he was out there mowing the lawn and boop, the rock came up. That same window, y'all. Twice. That's a $5,000 pane of glass. His insurance covered it, okay? So with that being said, you got to make sure you have all this stuff in the lease. Now, mind you, if I had broken it, Would my landlord have paid for it? Probably not. I would have probably had to bill my insurance company for it, right? Accidents and stuff like that happen. All right. So you need to have, speaking of insurance, a certain amount of insurance with your business. If you open any bit, the minimum is going to be $1 million worth of insurance. Okay, minimum. I don't know that you can get insurance less than that of liability insurance. What is liability insurance? That means if something happens in your business, someone gets hurt, someone gets sick, someone goes to the hospital because you gave them a paronychia and now they got to go get their finger chopped open like like a busted hot dog to get that pus drained out of it because you over here cutting cuticles and all of that stuff and gave somebody an infection. You need to have insurance. So it sounds like a lot, but my State Farm insurance is about, for $1 million worth of insurance a year, is about $50 a month. Okay, so that's about $700 a year. Okay, for liability insurance. And they will base it based on your business. They'll say, oh, you need more than that depending on what type of business you do. Okay. You'll also want to have, so that's like malpractice insurance. Doctors have to have that, right? If somebody dies on their table and someone wants to sue, they got to pay. And the insurance company will pay it up to a certain amount. Burglary insurance, if someone comes in and breaks in, you'd be surprised. People will break in your place and steal all your acrylic. I saw something on TikTok. It was so sad. This lady that came in, broke in, took all of her gel. I mean, that's a lot of money. Gel polish, she was in the hood. Came in, bust the door open just to steal gel polish. I hope people that want to rob me are more sophisticated than that. Please steal the computer, not the gel polish. Gel polish, acrylic, all of that stuff, you got it. So when I did my insurance, they wanted to know, how much is this stuff worth? How many nail tables do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, all of that. How much did it cost for the whole setup? If the place burns down, can we afford to pay to buy you all new stuff? Right? So make sure that you have insurance. You better have insurance, y'all. Don't play around with that. All right? Now, as far as this slide here with the smooth business management, right? Making sure that you have money in the bank. Capital, okay? You do not want to be living check to check when you own a business, all right? What if something happens? You need to have a certain amount of money of what we would call an emergency fund, okay? In case, let's just say for something like during COVID, right? Businesses had to shut down. Do you think, though, that they didn't have to pay their rent? I know my rent man wanted his rent whether I had clients or not to pay the rent. That's when people got into them PPP loans and all that stuff and got into all that trouble. That stuff's coming back to bite. All right. So making sure that you have a nice little fund of money. And they say you should have about 6 months worth of money saved up. And how do you know how much that's going to be? Well, you're going to look at that spreadsheet that we're going to put together. Okay. Now, this is a nice little chart here to tell you about how much money you should allocate of your income to. Okay, what you should allocate it to. 50% should be going to salaries. It's going to go to salaries and commissions. Okay, so in my case, ain't no way I don't pay myself 50%. I'm a minimalist, y'all. I don't need a lot. I ain't got no kids. I don't need all that. Plus, I like to write off taxes as much as possible. But you write off salaries to your employees and taxes as well. Okay? So your rent, 13%. So don't go out here and get a huge building that you can't afford, and it ends up being 25% of your money that you're bringing in. That's way too much. You can't afford that. Sometimes we just ain't ready or willing to admit that there's things we can't afford. You can't afford when you first get out of nail school, okay, a $300 a week suite. Unless you got, that's 13%, right? So they said 13%. So we'll just say a nice round, unless you're making $3,000 a week. If you're making $3,000 a week, 10% of that is what? $300? You can afford it. Obviously, you can afford it, right? But if you're not, then you don't need a $300 a week suite. Okay? You maybe need a $150 a week suite. Okay? Don't get too big for your britches, as my mama used to say. You're gonna spend about 5% on supplies, your laundry, things like that. You guys, and I buy new towels every few months because y'all go through them. Okay? Your light, your power, your rent, all of these. Your lights and power, your repairs on things, telephone, all of this about 1%. Okay? So total expenses should equal to about 85% of your 85% of your expenses is going to go, of your money is going to go to your expenses, which is also your salary. Okay, you should be paying yourself. Remember, you guys, when you do this LLC, you pay yourself. You write yourself from your business account a check or transfer it, or however you do it, into your personal account. Keep it separate. So your business will make about a 15% profit every year, and then as you make more money, that money will, grow and grow, but it should be about 15% profit if you want to stay in a safe zone. All right. So we're almost done here, y'all. All right. I told y'all about record keeping, and having a tax person or an accountant is very helpful. All right. Very, very helpful. If you're not going to have an accountant, you're going to do it yourself. You better get you some good software like Quicken or one of these websites that keeps up with all of these different expenses that you have. Otherwise, you're going to go old school paper and pen, and that's not, y'all don't even know how to do that. I don't. So these days I wouldn't want to do it. Now let's talk about, this is very important, the difference between booth rental and commission. What is the difference between booth rental and commission? Booth rental, okay, and commission, two totally different things. When you are a booth rental, you are your own boss. You get paid, you pay for a space in a salon, or you for instance, if you're working in a big salon that looks like this, maybe you would come to an agreement with me and say, I'm going to pay you $100 a week for a table. I have my own clients. I have my own schedule. I pay you rent. You just make sure that I have a place, the building, the rent is paid, and the lights are on, the water's hot, and there's a bathroom for my people to go in. The employer does not supply you anything. Nothing, not even a uniform. Okay? You are your own boss. Now, commission, booth rental, that means you pay your own taxes. Okay, you got to deal with the IRS on your own. You keep your own records. It's very, very much like you're running your own business, but you're renting a space inside of someone else's business. Okay, you take your own payments from your clients, all of that. Okay, now commission is very, very different. Commission is going to be where you are getting a percentage. Okay? For instance, now then y'all probably go, oh my God, but 50-50 is standard. Okay? Now most people don't do 50-50 because y'all be looking all crazy and stuff, but when you are in a very high-end salon, like say for instance, I have a friend who works in a salon in Beverly Hills. Okay? The rent alone is like $20,000 a month in that building. She gets clients that are billionaires and millionaires. So the prices the money that she's making is very, very good money. They're not tipping $5, they're tipping $100. Okay, and the rent, the commission split is 50-50, and she don't complain because she don't have to buy the Louis Vuitton polish that they have on the not Louis Vuitton, Christian Louboutin polish that they use on their clients, which is $100 a bottle. Okay, you see what I'm saying? She's getting a 50-50 split, but she don't have to spend all that money on keeping a chandelier in there, chandeliers and a pianist in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different type of environment. Now, in these more lower end salons, technically and more often you will see 70-30 splits or 60-40 splits. They will start you usually at 60-40, where you get 60, they get 40, until you have been there a while. And then they may bump it up to, and once you're making, getting clients and, you're making more money for the salon, then they'll bump you to 70-30, where you get 70%, they get 30. And, one of the crazy things that y'all get out and you're like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, how much can you afford $5,000 in rent? Can you afford to buy all of this equipment? No, you get an opportunity. I mean, it really irks me sometimes when I hear new nail techs complaining about commission. Go out there. Do you know how much money it costs to buy one collection of polish? When you first start, you might have 20 polishes. Girl, you can't do no nails with 20 polishes. And it costs money to buy more. So go ahead. Go out there. Get you a suite. And, every week buy you a new polish until you get enough to your clients are happy. You got to know how much it costs to run a business. And when you figure that out, and you will after doing this chapter, after you do this spreadsheet and you see how much money it costs to run a salon, even if you're going to do a suite, you may opt to go work for somebody in the beginning for a little while. Okay? Again, if you're going to do it legally, not in your house, not in your car, going to their house and driving there and back. No, legally, you might change your mind and go work for Mr. Johnny for a couple of months until you build up a clientele and you save enough money to buy the entire Charm Legend collection of polish. Okay? Like they got. Because it takes a lot of capital. All right? So, commission, and this is something that you guys, sorry, let me go back because I don't want to skip this part. Commission is totally different. And this is where a lot of employers get themselves in trouble. Okay? Like I said, there's a split, and there are people that do, like Shayla, she's like, I don't know why I got to pay for my own uniform. You're not supposed to. Under commission, they're supposed to be paying for your uniform. They're supposed to pay for you. If you need an e-file, they're supposed to have one for you. You're supposed to show up like an employee every day with no responsibilities whatsoever, right? They pay your taxes, they pay your insurance, they do all. You don't have to pay for nothing, okay? But far too often I see you guys, when you're new, falling for that trap where they're like for instance, Shayla went and worked somewhere and they were like, you got to buy your own barbicide. Like, what? First of all, you're supposed to have that in the salon. You're supposed to have that, okay? Number two, why do I need to buy it for myself? Why I shouldn't have to buy, everything. They are legally responsible, even if, now that don't mean they got to give you a nice brush to use, but they're supposed to supply you with all of these things. You shouldn't have to pay for a dime, okay? And if you run into a place where you go start working and they're like, oh, well, you need to buy your uniforms and you need to buy this and you got to bring your own acrylic and you got to bring your own, that sounds way too much like booth rent to me, baby. And it's not legal for them to do that, okay? So keep that in mind. Commission, you are 100% an employee. All you got to do is show up, ready to work, okay? Booth rent, you are 100% your own boss. Don't go in there telling them people what to do in their business, okay? You mind yours, let them mind theirs. But all of this stuff has to be in a contract, okay? So, someone just asked, is booth rent paying taxes? No, you pay your own, okay? You pay your own taxes. And don't fall into that trap of not paying them. You got to pay them. All right. Now, this is an example of something that you guys are going to have to do. All right. A floor plan. I want a either digital or handwritten floor plan of your salon that you're going to create, your imaginary creation. Okay, so number one, we've got our business plan that you guys got to do, right? Let me write this down so that everybody knows what you're going to be responsible for. Number one, business plan. I've dropped it. It will be dropped today, okay, in the classroom. Number two. What was number two? I said business plan. Oh, your floor plan. Number three, spreadsheet with your financials. I can't spell. Spreadsheet with your financials. Okay, and I'll talk about number four in a minute. Now, your floor plan can be something like this, and the reason I have y'all do this is guess what I had to do when I opened my school? The state board wanted to see a floor plan of how I plan to set up the school. Obviously, it has changed a million times since then, but they wanted to see where I was going to put the tables, the chairs, the desk, the office, all of that, okay? If you're doing a suite, if you want to do a suite setup. Okay, but I want to see it either digitally, and there's several websites out there. There's several like floor plan apps that you can download on your phone. Okay, because you guys are going to present this. This is not going to be just, oh, I'm just going to just do it. No. You got to come up here and show it to the classroom. Okay, so this is a hands-on project. Like I said, y'all got 3 weeks to do it. Okay, 3 full weeks. Except for those that are going to the show with us. Y'all gonna be partying in Orlando, right? Who's going to the show in here? Nobody? Oh, y'all suck. Saturday class, they get a bunch of them going. Okay. So y'all got that? Your layout. And again, this is imaginary. This is imaginary. Make it make sense, right? But do whatever you want, okay? So, and you'll want to do this anyway. Like, you may not do it physically on the paper, but you'll do it in your head, all right? Now, when it comes to hiring people, y'all, I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm not the best person to teach this because I'm not the best at it. I done told you, I done got in a whole arguments and fired folks. I'll fire you now in a heartbeat. But you know how to hire people. You're going to interview them. If they meet what your standards are, what you want done, if they can do the job, if they can come at the time you need them to come, if they are overall, they have the image that you're looking for. If you don't now, I'm going to tell you what y'all do. This is what y'all do. Y'all show up for a job interview. You cover up all your tattoos. This is what I do. You cover up all your tattoos and you make sure your hair ain't purple that day, and then y'all show up to the job and you got all your nose rings and all that stuff and your purple hair and your tattoos, and then they be looking at you like, who are you? Right? So remember, when you're hiring people that you want this certain look, which me, I don't care. You know, it's 2025. Y'all got more rings and faces in this room that I've seen in my entire life at a job. Okay? Every last one of y'all got something in your face, don't you? Don't you? Back in the day, I had to take mine out. I got a nose ring. I couldn't wear that. I don't wear it in here. But at some jobs, you know, they require certain things. Y'all saw what they did with the Starbucks people. They got all upset. Oh my God, we gotta wear a green shirt. Yeah, because the Target people gotta wear a red one. The Walmart people gotta wear that damn thing. Vest. Yeah, they got all up in all, oh my God. You mean I can't wear my striped lime green shirt? No. Okay. So when it comes to businesses, if they can't do what you need them to do or have the look that you want them to have, then don't hire them. Okay. If they're late to the interview, don't hire them. All right. Payroll and benefits, again, that's something that when you start hiring people and they work for you, you have to have certain things, you know, like you're going to want to have a payroll, somebody like ADT, or is it ADT, ADP? ADP, they handle your taxes. They'll handle all that stuff, charge you a little fee. You just pay the people, and then they pay them, write them a check. Stuff like that makes it so much easier. This is why I don't have. Shayla is an independent contractor. I'm not doing no insurance. Hell, I ain't got none. You think I'm going to get some for you? You know what I'm saying? So it's how you plan to run your business that's all on you, okay? But make sure you put everything in writing. All right? Let's see, I got two more slides here. This is probably the most important thing. Your front desk person will make or break your business. Ain't that right, Hannah? Hannah's a good receptionist. She don't show favoritism to them people, do you? Lies. See what I'm saying? See, a receptionist, you better on National Receptionist Day, you better get her some flowers, buy her some donuts, hot ones from Krispy Kreme, get her a gift card to Dunkin' Donuts, something. Because that receptionist, Shayla will tell you, if they don't like you, they will not give you no clients. They will pass right. Oh, girl, I forgot you was even here. You ain't seen a client all day. She just steady giving them to Jocelyn. Just saying. Your receptionist, if they are hateful and nasty and got a bad attitude, nobody don't care about how good your nail techs are. She is the person that greets you at the door. Make sure you got a good one. Or if you are the receptionist, be a good one. Okay? Because you're going to get fired if you ain't. All right? I bet Hannah come in there looking all cute and pretty, don't you? Because you look. I tip the receptionist sometimes. I, as the nail tech, tip the receptionist.
Somebody did that.
They should. You want to do that because she's going to tip you right back. Tip a client right on over there to you. Oh, there's 2 clients waiting. One wants $100 worth of services. The other one only wants a $10, polish change. I'm going to give it to the person who takes care of me. Just saying. Be nice to your receptionist. Okay? All right. Y'all, we ain't got telephones no more. I mean, they do in the salons, but most time people are booking online. If you got a telephone, I don't even know what a landline is. We got one here. When it rings, I'd be shocked. What is that? Okay. But show good etiquette on the telephone. I think that really kind of don't need to be said. Now, social media marketing. This is a big one. Y'all make sure that you guys are on TikTok already. Y'all are on Facebook. Y'all are making videos. Y'all are promoting. I don't know what you promoting. Some of y'all just be twerking and dancing with your kids, or, showing what you cooked that day or whatever. If you're a nail tech, when you start promoting yourself to get clients, you need to make content for that. Okay? It's important that you separate it from your personal life. Nobody wants to scroll through your pictures of you at Disney and scroll past that to get to your nail work. Okay? Just saying, I don't. So keep it separate. If you're going to twerk on your personal page, not on your business page. I had to delete all my twerking videos. No, I'm just kidding. Got to find that on OnlyFans. All right? Social media is not just, scrolling and all that. You can write blogs. You can have on your website a place where you post certain things. And, always remember this. I mean, think about what happened with TikTok, right? TikTok went away. Everybody had a whole, they lost their mind because TikTok went away for a day. Was it a day or a week or something like that? I can't remember because I was just like, it wasn't even 24 hours. People was losing their mind, crying. Oh. You all better make sure you got backups, okay? Do not have as they say, do not have one form of income. Do not have one form of social media, okay? One day, Beyonce's internet is going to be completely gone. When Jesus comes, he's gonna shut the internet down, okay? I'm just saying, I believe that's what's going to happen. And then what you going to do? Okay, you need to have word of mouth. You need to be spreading your business. Business cards still work. Okay? Business cards are not dead. You should have them. You need to get some quality ones, good ones, not with a bunch of words on it. Okay? Don't put all your whole life on there. Be short, street, sweet, and to the point. Mary Negron School of Nails, phone number, address. That's it. Booking site. Period. Okay? Nobody needs to see all your work on one card. Okay? It's too busy. It's too much. Send them where you want to send them. Get it over with. Okay? Network with brands, y'all. Being a brand ambassador is a good thing. But that's another thing you got to be careful, because I'm not going to let you be my brand ambassador and you twerking on your page. That's ghetto. Be ghetto somewhere else. Okay? Unless you work with a ghetto brand, and there's some, some of those out there too. There are some very ghetto brands out there. Okay? And let's see, advertising. Okay, let me tell y'all a little, this is a little word of advice, okay? Get you a billboard. That sounds like it's expensive, right? You can get a billboard, those ones that flip, blip, blip, blip. It's actually, so you guys, just so you know, there's a website, a billboard company called Blip Billboards, B-L-I-P, okay? You can do a billboard for the ones that change, right? You can do a billboard for $10 a month. Only problem is you're only going to get a certain amount of impressions. Y'all know what impressions are? How many times people see your advertisement. So you can say, okay, y'all see these billboards are all over Augusta. I did one time. I got 15 students off of one billboard advertisement that I did. I'm about to do it again. Okay? And I paid, I want to say $200 for 1 month. I said I want my ad to show on 5 different billboards in the city. They got one on Washington Road, they got one in Aiken, they got one on downtown, they got another one on Dean's Bridge. They're all spread out. Now they probably got more. Okay, this was like 2 years ago. I created they tell you what you can't have but so many words, because people be driving. They don't need to be reading a book while they're driving, right? Put your information up there. It shows up for 2 seconds, and then it flips to Dunkin' Donuts. And then 2 more seconds later, it flips to the first bank, and then it flip to another thing. And then, so your amount of impressions will depend on how much money you spend, and how many billboards. And you can choose, and you can say, I got a budget of $50. Okay, well, your ad might only get seen like once in a minute, but it's going to get seen. Somebody's going to see it. Right? I recommend you do a little more than that. But get you a little billboard. Put it on don't put it on the side of town. You don't want them people coming to you. Don't you put no billboard talking about Jocelyn's Nails now taking clients, and it's all the way down in the hood, and you don't want to deal with them people. Don't do it. I don't. Y'all, they got people for you. They ain't got no billboard. Okay? Put your billboard where you want people. It's all about demographic. Okay, call it what you want to call it. You can say I don't know. I'm being mean because I don't want to see ghetto people. I don't. I'm enough of that. I don't need more than that in one room. Okay, I don't need people that don't want to pay, that don't have money to pay me. I want upscale people with jobs and with money to come to my salon. Okay, so that's blipbillboard.com. Okay, billboards work. All right. Start collecting email addresses. When you are, for instance, when you have your online booking, you're collecting the email address anyway, so that you can do email marketing. Email these people and say, hey, I'm having a special this month. Hey, book a friend, you get 20% off. Hey, maybe you haven't seen them in a while. Hey, my booking site, Acuity, it will tell you, like, how long has it been since you've seen this client? Oh, okay, well, I haven't seen this client in 6 months. They haven't rebooked. I'm going to send them a campaign that says, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Come back, 10% off. People, you'd be surprised. People, I get ads in my email all the time that I take advantage of. All right. And let's see. Okay, we talked about business cards. You guys going to the mall and handing out business cards is not dead. Okay? People do it. I see lots of good TikTok content where people are like, let me see your nails. You know, and they walk up to girls and, oh, you know, I do nails. Here's my card. Let me come and do it. It works, y'all. It really works. Stop being so shy. I know y'all don't know how to talk unless it's on a text. I know that. But y'all got to get out of it. You got to get out of it. Jocelyn laughing because she know it's true. She know it. She's shy. She don't want to talk. All right. Client referrals. Awesome way to get clients. Because you know, if you've got a good client, then hopefully her friends are good people too. Birds of a feather flock together. If you got a ratchet chick, you don't want her friend. Her friend's ratchet too. Okay? Is that not true? Some of y'all are that ratchet friend. You already know. Look, Mara said it's me. I'm it. Oh, I thought you said, I was like, yep, that's her. Mara is the ratchet friend. Do not tell your ratchet clients to bring their ratchet friends. Okay? All right. So with that being said, I think that's my last slide there. So all of you guys should have a good idea of what I need you to do for your senior project. Again, it is due on what day was that? The 6th of June? Yes. The 6th. That's a Friday? That's Friday. Oh, that's right, because my first day of class is online on the 5th of June. So you're absolutely right. So the last thing you guys have to do, okay? The very last thing you guys have to do, and some of you probably saw it sitting here on the table, is a diorama. Okay? And this is just one that I kept from a senior student that has graduated because she did such a good job with it. Okay? Y'all remember the dioramas. That was fun, wasn't it, seniors? Yeah. The diorama was actually fun. And this one was a sweet situation. She went, y'all please, don't do like some of them back there and spend $100 at the Hobby Lobby and go and buy doll parts and stuff that cost, because this, for instance, is a piece from the dollhouse collection they got at Hobby Lobby. I want to say it costs about $6 just for this little desk. Okay, now I'm not saying don't do it, but you don't have to. Obviously I kept hers because it was so cute and she spent a lot of money on it. Well, not a lot. She made a cardboard desk. See, this is a cardboard desk and cardboard chairs, but she put time into it. She went to the Dollar Tree. This is the Dollar Tree sticky paper. Okay, these little bottles right here, the polished bottles, are made out of little beads. They look like polished bottles. Okay, I want to see a living, breathing example of your salon. This is a cardboard box, y'all. Y'all remember making diorama? Maybe y'all don't. I don't know what they do in elementary school now, but when you used to have to do like a book report, right? Hey, how y'all doing? Do me a favor, just have a seat for a second. We'll be with y'all just a second. So this is what I want you guys to do as far as your diorama is concerned. It can be big, it can be small, it can be creative. Okay, but I want to see what your salon looks like. Okay, and this is all due. You cannot graduate if you don't do this. This is a senior project. If you for some reason don't do it, then you got to wait until the next senior group comes around, because I'm not accepting it late. You get 3 whole weeks to do it. If for some reason you're not going to be in class that day, you better find a way to get it up here before that day, so I know you did it. Okay, I don't want no excuses. That's a long time. This part is the hardest part and the funnest part. The rest of it's already done for you. Okay, now as far as the spreadsheet is concerned, I'm going to show y'all what that looks like, because I don't want to put it on the internet because it is proprietary information that I made myself, and I don't want they have to buy it. Okay, so I'll show you guys on the screen while we get them set up. Okay, so y'all got that? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any questions? All right. All right. Let me end this. Okay, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me end this right here. Are you Amishi's daughter? Yep. I thought so, because I thought the last